So I just want to alert people, I am not always negative on Campea. Occasionally he does a very good job. Like the recent video on the Deadpool Wolverine box office, I actually thought that was pretty strong, and I'm going to be very favorable to it. But again, Johnny is a little bit all over the place, and this video is no exception. I thought he was negative towards seeing Ghost Rider, but he apparently said, no, I want to see that. So I was a little confused. He seemed to be saying, yes, it's a good idea, and no, it's not a good idea. But let me back up because people may be confused. So Deadpool Wolverine, to put it massively, has many cameos. Many cameos. And some people were telling me they were disappointed there were not more cameos. Well, wait for it. There were more cameos, but they didn't work out quite well. So minor spoilers for Deadpool Wolverine. There is one scene in particular that is getting a lot of attention when basically we get a lot of the Marvel heroes. Not necessarily the MCU heroes, and they come out one after the other. Very epic scene with Gambit, Elektra, and Blade. Blade is probably getting the most attention. But apparently there were plans to have Ghost Rider show up as well, played by Nicolas Cage, but it didn't quite happen.
Dun, 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 dun. And Elektra walks in. Dun, 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 dun. Blade walks in. Dun, 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 Gambit. But it kept going. Dun, dun, dun. And freaking Nicolas Cage with a flaming skull comes walking through. Come on.
With the motorcycle?
With that on the motorcycle into the living room.
Leaving
No, the
dust on
motorcycle has
everyone.
its own entrance.
Yeah, I know. Come
Just
on.
his own big thing.
Campea was saying, this is too much, right? These cameos were great, but beyond a certain point, it would get really ridiculous and stupid. And, of course, frankly, he wouldn't be in the film that long. Even those great cameos, they're not in the film that long a time. They're really just there for a major battle. They say a few jokes, give a few quips, some nice dialogue, and then it goes back to being mainly a Wolverine Deadpool movie. So the cameos are good, but they are what they are. They're cameos. They're not meant to take away attention from the main story or the main characters. But I've defended the movie, which is now getting this belated backlash. I don't know. Even people who didn't like it said, yeah, it's okay, but not for me. But now apparently we need to hate Deadpool Wolverine for reasons. But I don't know. I'm not really changing my score. There are probably a few flaws I didn't notice at first. There's also a lot of jokes I didn't notice. I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, this thing is jam-packed. There's just so much happening in every frame. So it's going to take a while to unpack everything. But I don't see the reason to be negative. Now, granted, the Ghost Rider movies themselves were not really that good. I mean, Ghost Rider did look good in terms of CGI for the time period. That was impressive. But if you know the comics, it was damn confusing. It was all over the place, and they only took a very superficial part of Ghost Rider. They didn't really tap into the deeper elements. I mean, again, this has just been
Is that Nick
Marvel
Cage
and the supernatural, except
probably
for the
turned it
Blade
down.
movies.
And
They've never
you know
really
what?
gotten the
I
full
wouldn't blame-
flavor of how much horror, noir, mystery. There's a lot going on with that side of the Marvel universe, but it's never been gotten proper attention outside the comics. I've not seen the Blade TV series, so maybe they did that justice, but I have no motivation to see it either. I have not heard great things about it. So maybe the Blade TV show got it right. But yeah, it just seems that when it comes to the supernatural side, I guess Moon Knight is an exception with Werewolf by Night. But again, we don't even know where that's going. Is that going to be tied into the main Marvel universe? Or is it going to be its own thing in the MCU? Don't know. So yes, it might have been a little confusing because where would Ghost Rider be in this universe? I mean, yes, the other characters, it's kind of a weak explanation why they're there. They just got put into the void. How could you do that with Ghost Rider? I mean, technically, he's not even human. He's technically a demon. So I guess demons can also be transported. Also, he's Ghost
The
Rider.
article
I mean, you have
specifically,
no idea how
But the
powerful
guess
he
here,
is.
my operating assumption,
This
at least
character's
at any
insanely
rate,
powerful. If you stuck this character in the void, he could just get on his motorcycle and just leave. So yeah, it would create issues and problems. He's that powerful. I mean, really, he could be powerful enough to take on Cassandra Nova by himself. So yeah, there might have been a few issues about how accurate the character would be. Still, I gotta admit, it would have been sweet. Again, the CGI in Deadpool Wolverine, we gotta be honest, was still a little iffy here and there. So maybe it wouldn't look the best version of Ghost Rider. But still, it would have been very interesting. But I can understand Nicolas Cage is not very proud of those two films. I mean, I think he gave it a try. I understand what they were up to, but yeah, they're not very good. I mean, the Blade films have been very strongly criticized. But I think overall, the trilogy, with all its problems, still holds up as a visual experience. It's
Gambit,
just
but it kept
very,
going.
very enticing.
And
Yeah, the two Ghost
freaking
Rider
Nicolas
movies
Cage with a
really
flaming
don't need to see them. They
skull
didn't really leave me with
Well, that
comes
was
very
a
deep
walking
lot.
impression.
through.
And the impression I was left with
Come
was,
on.
yeah, it's time to move on. But still, giving Nicolas Cage in that version of Ghost Rider a final farewell, that would have been sweet. So here's hoping it will eventually happen, because they've opened the door up now. There will be tons more multiverse cameos coming our way, no doubt about that. So hopefully Nick will change his mind and, give us one last ride as Ghost Rider.